been talking about it throughout this broadcast because the results of this World Cup collectively with the 5 remaining events through March 2020 will add up to an opportunity for some of these gymnasts to qualify to Tokyo individually. And let's talk about Filip Ude from Croatia as an example of that, Tim.
A perfect example. You know, he's tremendous on this. He's medaled internationally, even at the Olympic Games on pommel horse. But Croatia was 45th at the last World Championships. The top 12 will go. The next 9 will be chosen from the 2019 World Championship. So Croatia has no chance of qualifying. The only way he gets there is through an event like this.
You touched on it, a very experienced competitor, Olympic silver medalist on pommel horse from 2008, which was Croatia's first and to this day its only Olympic gymnastics medal.
He can be really great. Very nice body line, really extended circle. But sometimes he runs into trouble and gets a little bit sloppy with his form. Very difficult to do those turns in between the pommels. Oh my goodness. And you know, as of late, I have seen him really struggle. He did not do well in 2018 at the World Championships. He has been a staple in pommel horse finals, but really has underperformed. He was way off on that. There was no way that he could even fight to stay on. It's all about balance on pommel horse. A lot of people would disagree with me, but I think he's trying to do a circle that's so big and so open that it opens himself up to having problems a lot. His chest is way open, which is very technical, and certainly that's what he's trying to do. I think sometimes it makes it a bit freewheeling, and the result is a fall and no way a medal because the field is too good.
We'll be back with the score for Filip Ude from Croatia in a moment as we get things kicked off on floor with 17-year-old Diana Varinska.
One foot on the line and then the step with the other foot out of bounds. We'll get deductions for the steps and 1/10 for out of bounds. Well, you know, some very interesting choreography, a lot of really cool elements there. That double turn into illusion, I loved that after her first pass. But the difficulty score is very low. She needed to really execute, and she really didn't.
Filip Ude from Croatia with a 13.433. But for Varinska, she says Nasty Lukin is her idol for combining that difficulty and the elegance. Clearly a very graceful gymnast. As we take a look now at Kohei Kamayama from Japan. World champion on pommel horse, 30 years old. won that world title back in 2013, then followed it with a world pommel horse silver medal the following year.
Really beautiful. He's not a specialist, but this is where he shines, certainly. Almost retired, or actually did retire. Beautiful, up to a handstand, back down to flares after 2016 because he wasn't making any major teams. He said his coach convinced him to come back to the sport, and we all benefit from that because he's fabulous. When he's on, he's beautiful, does a lot of different type elements. And with it being a 4-person team at the Tokyo Olympic Games, he would not have a shot of being on that. His only way of getting there is through these Event World Cup Championships.
Well, if there's a chance to compete at a home Olympic Games, you've got to try, right?
Yeah, absolutely, but the problem is on all of these events, so you have these 8 World Cup events, and at the conclusion, they will take the top 3 placements of each gymnast, and that decides only one on each event.
Very narrow path to the Olympic Games through this World Cup Series. Emma Nidov now, quick turnaround from a gold medal on beam moments ago.
Well, a very nice routine, well executed, but doesn't really have the highest maximum score.
Kameyama from Japan moves into the lead on pommel horse. The competition heating up in Baku. The finals continue when we return. Welcome back inside the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku. A look at Diana Varinska from Ukraine. Her score, a 12.6, moves her currently into the lead in this floor final. The men are on pommel horse. We've seen one highly credentialed gymnast here after another, and we keep that trend going with Cyril Tomazon from France. 2-time world medalist on pommel horse, a silver in 2011, bronze in 2014.
Yeah, he has been around a long time and has anchored Team France's pommel horse forever. Has a very quick circle. And I like his body position a little bit better. Maybe he could be slightly more open, but you see his chest is closed. He's kind of concaved on it, whereas Uday, he is so open, I think it causes him to really be inconsistent. Gorgeous routine, one of the best ones I've seen Cyril do.
You mentioned he's been around a long time, 31 years old, a father of 2. He'll be 33 in Tokyo. Emma Nidov, 12.9, takes over the lead on floor. But lots of experience for Tomazon to compete with these younger men, but obviously physical challenges becoming greater and greater as well. And on the other side of that now, Varvara Zubova from Russia, 16 years old.
very nice job. A playful choreography, I would say. Kind of fun, kind of cute, and executed well.
Cyril Tomazone from France moves into second place, 14.833 on pommel horse. And I agree, a very charming routine from the young Russian. Only her second career World Cup event. Competed in Croatia last year where she made the final on bars and beam. Now Oliver Heggie from Switzerland, a busy man in Baku this week, qualified to the finals on parallel bars, and today we'll see him on this event in high bar as well. Really nice scissor work. A lot of athletes do those to a handstand position, but they show strength, which is not allowed. Oh boy, clipped the pommel horse, the pommel with his legs. He had to bend his knees. He stopped his rhythm a bit. And he's a little bit off right here too. Oh boy. And yeah, you could see that coming. You know, early on I said he clipped his legs. He actually hit the pommel and the horse, I believe. And what that does is it just changes your entire rhythm, slows the circle down. And so to get it back going again, the energy that he expends to do that is tremendous, and he just ran out of gas, I would say. He's got his best event coming up, though, on high bar where he's fabulous. I imagine those few seconds after a mistake like that, so frustrating. Varvara Zubova from Russia moving into first place there on floor. And of course, Russia has already qualified to the Olympics, placing second in 2018. Vanessa Ferrari now from Italy. Coming back from an injury, you see that foot tape, torn Achilles tendon. We saw Vanessa at the Melbourne Cup. So much of that event's preview was dedicated to the return of this gymnast to competition. Three-time Olympian. Such an amazing career Vanessa has had. World all-around champion in 2006. You mentioned Vanessa rupturing her Achilles tendon. That was back in 2017. Now on the comeback trail, she won gold in Melbourne, looking for her fourth trip to the games. 28 years old. Well, a nice job, I'll tell you. So impressed to see her back tumbling, but also a very mature and a very nice choreographed routine. So we will have the scores for Italy's Vanessa Ferrari in just a moment, but still more to come from Baku. On day one of the finals, the United States' Jade Carey took gold on vault. Is another gold in her future from Baku? We'll find out on the other side of the break.
How do these other OTC medicines compare to Zysol? Well, looky here. Zysol works faster than Claritin and lasts up to 6 times longer than Benadryl. So for the latest and powerful relief that's just as effective at hour 24 as at hour 1, be wise all. Take Zysol.
Nathan Chen and the world's best figure skaters take to the ice in Japan at the 2019 World Figure Skating Championships, Saturday at 8 Eastern on NBC. Halfway through this pommel horse final now. This is 20-year-old Wang Hao from China, and he is in his element on pommel horse. Yeah, this is a pommel horse build type of guy. Long, extremely lean, very extended circle. He has been a fan favorite, super challenging pommel skill right there.
It's nice flare work. Wants to remain completely square. A lot of people had been thinking he would be the #1 guy in the world for many years. Has not lived up to that and won't again today.
Wang Hao, a silver medalist twice over now in this World Cup Series, both times beaten by world medalist Li Qike from Chinese Taipei. But shockingly, Qike was 30th in qualification in Baku, and Wang Hao actually just making the cut to this final in 8th. So it was an off day for both of them in qualifications, and again today for Wang Hao.
Yeah, he's tremendous when he's on, but we haven't seen that a lot from him. Very disappointing. He's capable, certainly, in a lot of ways. I think he's potentially the best guy in the final, but you got to deliver.
Oliver Heggie from Switzerland with a 13.066. He was last up on pommel horse. Vanessa Ferrari moving into the top spot on floor. But for that men's competition, the door has been opened by a number of these routines. So we will wait to see where Wang Hao factors in. But the American, Jade Carey, getting set to go now and fresh off the feeling of having a Baku World Cup medal hanging around her neck. Won vault yesterday.
Capable of doing what I believe is the second most difficult tumbling routine in the world to Simone Biles. Wow, really great. Double-double laid out. Wow, really, really good and really hard. She had a struggle at her first World Cup event on floor, did not perform well, but that routine will be very hard to beat.
14.033 for Wang Hao. Jade Carey scores in just a moment as we continue on pommel horse with the men. Top qualifier to this final up next, and he is from Japan. Here is Kaito Imbayashi. And coming into an event with as many Olympic and world medalists as there have been, I don't know how many people predicted that Kaito would take the top spot to this final, but he led the way with a 14.866, and as we mentioned, the door is open now.
Up to a handstand, back down to flare. Really risky way of doing it on that skill. He led the way in qualifying, as you said. One of the main reasons was he did the most difficult routine, had the highest potential score. Good work so far. Can't believe he stayed on when he went up to that handstand and came back down into flare. Technically, I wouldn't say it was the right way to do it, but what a fight. And, oh, he is going to get clobbered for that dismount.
The door was open. We'll see where their scores factor in, but Jade Carey from the United States factors in right at the top once again. We'll be back with more from Baku.
how do these other OTC medicines compare to Zysol? Well, looky here. Zysol works faster than Claritin and lasts up to 6 times longer than Benadryl. So for the latest and powerful relief that's just as effective at hour 24 as at hour 1, be wise all. Take Zysol.
Jade Carey from the United States leading the way now in this floor final from the Apparatus World Cup in Baku. This is Marine Boyer from France, now with the unenviable task of following Jade Carey on floor.
Well, a beautiful routine right there. Absolutely gorgeous. Great landings, but really should not challenge Jade Carey. Absolutely.
Imubayashi from Japan moving into the 5th spot with a 13.225. We'll have marine scores in a moment. I said it was unenviable to follow Jade Carey. That may not necessarily be the case. It's definitely possible to harness the energy from one great performance into another, but Jade Carey setting a really tough standard to beat.
Well, she's just at a different level in the tumbling. There's no question. There's Simone Biles and Jade Carey, just massive difficulty.
Nariman Kurbanov now from Kazakhstan, nearing the end of this pommel horse final now.
Once again, you see that long and lean body in the event finals on pommel horse, and little squirrely on that. Oh, and he had to tap the horse, which will be a deduction, and he'll lose the value of that skill. This is a jam-packed routine. Very difficult, and the dismount, another deduction. He was supposed to do a pirouette. He'll incur more penalties for that. Not really what he's capable of doing.
Just a few gymnasts left to go on floor for the women. Lara Mori from Italy getting set to go. And Marine Boyer from France, the last up on floor. She will move into 4th place with a 13.3. Jade Carey still with the lead. Back with more in a moment. The women's floor final rolls on in Baku. We just saw France's Marine Boyer. Now Lara Mori from Italy steps up. Top qualifier on this event in Baku. Jade Carey with the lead.
And her teammate, Vanessa Ferrari, in the silver medal territory right now. Great exercise, beautiful, executed. Some hard tumbling in there, a whip to a full twisting double. Really don't think it can challenge Jade Carey though, but excellent job.
Kurbanov with disappointment on pommel horse, shaking his head. He moves into 4th place. Lara Mori putting the pressure on her teammate Vanessa Ferrari. Won't come close to Jade Carey, but we'll see where she factors in a moment. Now, Saidreza Cheya from Iran, final gymnast. You want to talk about making your mark. He has 4 elements named after himself on pommel horse. The last 2 he performed for the first time at this event last year in 2018.
And they are all these type elements that are in flair, where he's, oh boy, clipped the pommel horse as we've seen earlier, slowed his circle down, and I mean, this is really hard stuff. Very challenging. It's a little repetitive in my opinion. Oh, he goes up, comes back down, and goes back up again. That will knock him off the podium. Very unique stuff. It's all a little bit from the same category, but that dismount is a big deduction for him.
He has 1 medal already on this World Cup series, a bronze from Cottbus. Lara Mori anxiously awaiting these numbers. She will undoubtedly factor into the medals after that performance on floor.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it, every single bit of it.
13.633 in qualifications. Big smile, big hug from her coach. And Lara Mori very happy with her effort on floor today. You see Jade Carey there, the leader, and 13.866 will put Mori into 2nd place with 1 left to go now on floor. Saidreza Cheya, 13.7 into 5th place. And it's been a tough day on pommel horse, Tim.
It has, absolutely.
Here are the overall standings now for the men. Kohei Kamayama from Japan will take the gold. Cyril Tomazon from France with silver. And Wang Hao, the talented young man from China, rounding out the top 3. But still 1 gymnast left to go on floor from Croatia. Here is Ana Derek. Qualified in a tie for 8th to this final. We saw her at the Cottbus Apparatus World Cup, where she missed the final on this event. 2016 Olympian. She competed on beam and floor. Didn't make either final there.
That's something I've never seen in my life before.
That's incredible.
The first run was a leap series.
What did you think? Did you like that?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It's very surprising because of the way the code of points is written. She gets, a fair amount of bonus for the leaps, but you just, at the elite level, you never see that, ever.
Well, in keeping with that trend of the slightly unusual, Anna's dad was a national champion in kickboxing and then became a gymnastics coach. Her older brother also in gymnastics. So a few unique details on her journey in this sport.
Well, nicely executed. Like I said, very unconventional way to start the routine. Doesn't have a very high, maximum score that she can get from it. somewhere, I don't even think 15-0, whereas Jade Carey, for example, 16-2 was what her difficulty rating was. But this was nice, required to do this front flip and then double back somersault. Little bit of a slide, stays in bounds though. I liked it because she appeared to me to enjoy it and feel the music.
When we saw the men on floor, Tim, you were talking about ensuring that what you're putting out there is something that's in your wheelhouse, what you're capable of performing well. I'd say this was a case of that today.
Absolutely, and you know, making a World Cup final for this young woman is extreme. That's a huge, huge deal for her and Croatia.
She was 12th on floor in Cottbus, and those scores added up to an overall apparatus World Cup standing. So she's currently 22nd, but this result will certainly help her rise in those standings. And I think, as you said, just qualifying to this final, already a big accomplishment. That's a nice feeling to take into any aspect of competition. Those incremental accomplishments giving you so much confidence. 12.933 puts Anna Derek in 6th place. So a big day for her, but no one had a better day than Jade Carey from the United States. Another gold medal from Baku. She was golden on vault as well. Lara Mori from Italy and her teammate Vanessa Ferrari rounding out the top 3. Up next, the men will take to high bar, and the headliner, Epke Zonderland from the Netherlands, the Flying Dutchman himself, 2012 Olympic high bar champion, will have that competition when we return to Baku in a moment. And we welcome you back inside.